Promoting and making alternative fuels more accessible to consumers is a top priority in America today. Hundreds of thousands of vehicles across this nation are now running on some type of alternative fuel to improve the air quality in our nation's largest cities. Phillips Petroleum Company is committed to be a leader in environmental stewardship and is proud of its rich heritage and its pioneering discovery and successful commercialization of alternative fuels. For more than 66 years, Phillips has been marketing propane both as fuel for home heating and successfully testing its use as an alternative fuel for motor vehicles. In 1990, Phillips launched a program in Denver, Colorado and St. Louis, Missouri to promote propane as an alternative fuel. Today, there are over 10,000 commercial propane refueling stations and an established network of licensed propane conversion centers throughout the country. America now uses over 500 million gallons of propane a year as motor fuel. Thank you for attending our program on refueling propane-powered vehicles. In this video, you'll learn the basic steps of fueling vehicles with propane. More and more cars, trucks, and other types of vehicles are being equipped to use this clean-burning, easy-to-handle fuel. The kinds of equipment you actually use might differ from that featured in this program, but the basic procedures you'll learn will apply to virtually all of them. After completing this program, take time to practice using the steps until you feel comfortable using them. If you don't understand a procedure outlined in this videotape, or if you have any questions about fueling propane-powered vehicles, don't hesitate to ask an experienced trainer. Before we get started with the fueling steps, we need to cover the types of nozzles you might be using and safety-related equipment used during propane refueling. Whenever possible, limited-release nozzles should be used. These limit the amount of propane released when they are released from the filler valve. The Eleflex pistol grip nozzle is a good example of a limited-release nozzle. These nozzles are almost identical to the common gasoline dispensing nozzle, except that you screw the nozzle onto the connection for refueling. These nozzles do not require gloves for operation unless they are required by local law. The industrial-type nozzles that may be found on refueling stations are typically a quick-acting or slap valve nozzle and the globe valve nozzle. These valves are operated either by turning the round handle or lifting the lever of the valve. Protective gloves should be used when using the quick-acting valve and the globe valve to protect your hands from freeze burns. Protective gloves should also be worn when opening or closing the fixed liquid level gauge used to vent the propane tank during filling. This brass fitting located close to the fill connection will also be used to determine when the tank has been filled to its capacity. Under no circumstances is any tank to be filled beyond its rated capacity or after liquid is visible at the fixed liquid level or outage gauge. If you're not sure the tank is being filled correctly, stop immediately and contact the attendant or propane company. One other important feature of the propane dispensing station is the emergency shutdown system. This system can either be activated automatically or manually if there is an emergency. You should review the emergency shutdown procedures with the attendant prior to using either dispensing system. Now, with that information behind us, it's time to learn the basic steps for fueling propane-powered vehicles. First, make sure the vehicle is turned off. Extinguish any smoky materials. As with any fuel, all sources of possible ignition must be eliminated. Make sure no one is in the vehicle during the fueling process, and do not allow anyone to re-enter the vehicle until the refueling process is completed. When operating equipment with card reader systems, make sure the card reader displays a greeting message. This lets you know the card reader is ready for the transaction. Slide the card through the card reader slot and follow the instructions on the card reader display. If the card is not accepted for some reason, check with the attendant or contact the propane company. Remove the filler valve cap and pick up the nozzle from the cradle. Next, connect the nozzle to the filler valve. turn the collar 3 full turns or until the nozzle is firmly secured to the filler valve. If you're not sure the nozzle is connected correctly, repeat this step. If you're still unsure, ask the attendant for help. If you haven't done so, put on your protective gloves and open the fixed liquid level gauge 1/4 turn or just until gas begins to vent. Open the nozzle handle, or if it's an industrial type nozzle, you would open the valve and turn the dispenser on. Allow the fuel to flow until a steady white mist is visible at the fixed liquid level gauge, or the fuel stops flowing on tanks equipped with automatic stop-fill devices. Release the nozzle handle. If it's a standard nozzle, close the valve. Don't be startled if you hear a brief hissing sound. This is a small amount of trapped vapor coming from the connection. Always keep your hands away from all connections to avoid skin contact with the liquid. When the tank's full, immediately shut off the fixed liquid level or outage gauge. If the nozzle is equipped with a vent line, open the valve to release the vapors between the fill valve and the filler fitting on the vehicle. Disconnect the nozzle from the filler valve by rotating the collar counterclockwise. Shut the dispenser off by lowering the lever to the off position or turning off the switch, and return the nozzle securely to the cradle. Next, replace the filler valve cap securely. If you're using a Gas Boy card reader system, slide your card through the card reader again to receive a receipt. For other systems, see the attendant for a receipt. After reviewing these steps with the trainer or marketer, you should be able to dispense propane safely and correctly into vehicle tanks. Knowing how to properly use propane dispensing equipment will save you time and provide added convenience when filling your vehicles with this clean burning fuel. Thank you for taking the time to view this program. Working safely is #1 for Phillips 66 Propane Company. We hope this program will help you develop the highest safety standards for refueling of propane-powered vehicles. Remember that the Clean Air Act benefits all of us. Not only will it make a difference in the air quality of our communities, but also provides the necessary opportunities for alternative fuels like propane to become an established and dependable source of energy for the future.